With that. So I want to first of all, I used to do these like every week. I got a bit tired of them because they don't really get views on YouTube. But the point here is I'm gonna do my review like I do usually, and if you guys like it, good. If you don't, then that's fine. Let me know why you don't like it or why you like it, and we can make it better next time. I find like people ask for them a lot, but they don't really watch them. So that's why I'm doing them live to put less effort into it, like less pre-work into it. But at the same time, it's good for me to kind of look at the chart, see what's happening this week. We'll kind of have a look at the difference between pairs, or I mean, let's recap the difference between reversals and trends in the market right now, and what to trade, what to look for, and everything on different pairs. Again, if you have any difference, again, if you have any question or any doubt, just comment in the chat. I'll be happy to answer your question. I'll try to have a look while I look at the pairs. So I just switch that around here, and you guys should see the charts right now. I'm using TradingView. Okay, this should be pretty simple, pretty usual for most people. And now we are on a weekly chart. Weekly chart is the chart that I use to be able to look at the zones and kind of identify where I want to trade and what direction the market is going for the coming week. So some pairs have been going in the same direction for a long time. It's been the same thing like for a very long time. A good example is AOD CAD. Okay, because the weekly chart is not going to vary that much, but it's still all right. So AOD CAD, I'm just going to kind of like zoom out. And basically what we'll see is that price is sitting here, this level. This is 0.96. It was before a support. Okay, so over here, price bounced at this support many times. Okay, came back, broke the support, turned into a resistance. Price respected that level again, went back down really far, and now we're coming back up to that level again. It seems like we're in a place where this could be a good place to look for bearish trades. I'm just gonna have a look here if I go on my 3-chart setup. If you have any trades up on this so far, okay. See, we had one here, which was a perfect trade. So I took that trade. This was at the end of the month last month, okay, beginning of this month. I probably took this trade. I'm not exactly sure, but we have a few other ones. So we had another one here that was a losing trade on a wait. That's 30 minutes. I don't trade that. Let me go on. Just fix that for you. Any more clear? And zoom these charts because they're quite hard to see. So this is a 1-hour chart. No setup here so far. We had a bullish setup here, but we don't take those because we are looking to sell in this pair. Okay, this is a resistance area, so we're looking to sell that pair. So we don't look for bearish for bullish setup there. Okay, we had a few other here, but this is a little bit too far. It's like beginning of the month last month. Actually beginning of this month, so it's not too bad. Yeah, it's about the same time as this one, so that would be fine here. Okay, that'll be a fun setup, but it didn't really work out well. But the setup we have was this one here on the forward chart. Worked out well. By the way, one thing that I teach my student, and that I've said a lot of times on YouTube, is when you look at these setup, you always enter below the low of the candlestick. So let's say basically the setup is like an engulfing candle breaking the Bollinger Band, and you enter below the low. So this trade here will not count because we would enter here below the low and not triggered on next candlestick, this one. So we would cancel the order because that would not count. Same thing with this trade here. We would enter below the low, not triggered next candlestick here. So we have to cancel this order again. Okay. So it's just a thing that makes it really more reliable compared to if you just enter at the close. You'll have a lot more mistrades, a lot more bad trades or losing trade, I should say, in that case. Okay. So that's what we do as a safeguard for when I have the market move in our favor first before we enter any trades. Okay, so what we'll do now is this trade could be a really good trade. I can show you guys how it would look like. Basically, what we do is when we enter this trade of to take profits, like 2 positions, we would take we would exit 1/2 at 1-to-1, the other half at 3-to-1. So you will enter here below the low, stop loss above the high, and reward to risk we do 1-to-1 around here. Okay, that's 1-to-1, and 2-to-1, 3-to-1. Sorry. 3-to-1 would have been triggered last week, which is good. So 3-to-1 right there. Okay, pretty good trade, right? That makes sense. We almost hit the bottom here. Price went back in the direction. This is fine. It happens. So that would have been a good trade right there. Okay. Now what we expect, if of course, for price to make other setup there, because we're still in the zone on the weekly chart. So price could make more setup, of course, at this level. Quick reminder, if you guys are watching this live, I would appreciate you can comment below with your questions or maybe pairs you want to look at or anything, and I'll be happy to go over those questions fairly soon, okay, to make this more interactive. And remember that the question you ask can dictate how much value you get from this live event. Okay, if you ask no question, you get what I teach you, which is going to be like top notch and good, but not as good as if you ask a question, right? So you want to be asking questions based on where you are right now, what you want to work on, and how I can help you, perhaps. So basically, the same thing happens on AUD GPY because these are correlated pair. AUD CAD and GPY, they have the same pair as the basis. So we look for here is also a bearish zone, so a resistance area that we had before as a support. We broke it, came into a resistance area, basically. Quite simple. We had a setup here on this one, which should have been a losing trade. That's fine. Yeah, you could have avoided that. Maybe if you put your stop loss a little bit like above the high, you could have avoided that. But this could have been a losing trade, let's say. Okay. So there we go. AUD and ZD is going to do the same thing again. So this pair is hitting a resistance area again, 1.10. So we're still like pushing really strong to the upside. We'll have to wait for engulfing candles and everything on the lower time frames, like I showed you before. We had one here, one enter below low. That could have been a good trade, except that we don't enter beyond the middle band usually, because that is technically a thing that's going to increase your drawdown. So if we don't enter beyond the middle band, we tend to reduce our drawdown. Get a little bit less profit, but a lower drawdown, of course. So that's a good thing. But we had no setup there on these pair, so that's fine. AUD USD is, so this one is a little bit different. It's correlated to the other ones before, but it's breaking outside of the resistance area we had before. So let's say our resistance area here on the weekly chart, it was about, this one was the maximum, or this one. Now this is like 0.70 or 0.71. Now we're way beyond that, but you'll notice that price is like doing some nonsense, meaning that we have like big wicks, so a lot of indecision, and price is not really in any direction. It's not moving up that much. It's really slow. Not moving down that much. It's because we have some wicks. So we're not sure about this pair. That's why I will not trade this pair this week, unless we get some clear direction and clear momentum or of where price is going. If we look on the lower time frame, it's really choppy and misty. We had a trade here, but then if you take this one, you might get there, get a break even. Price will go back in the direction and hit your stop loss. So it's just break even, which means if we're gonna trade break even, we should not trade, basically, because it's just not worth it. Okay. So here we had some other trades set up, but they would all end up in like break even. Like this one here gets stopped out after. This one here, yeah, gets stopped out here. This one there, enter here, gets stopped out here. So pretty much all the same. So that's why we better not trade on this pair, because it's too indecisive. All right. Same thing for Euro AUD. This pair is doing something that I'm not sure I understand really well right now. So it's kind of like moving to the upside, but very slowly, right? So if you're gonna like put a EMA or SMA on that, you're gonna see that it's gonna like trend first, and it's gonna go almost flat, because like we had this over here, where not much happened, okay? And we did have other trades here on low time frame, but not on a bigger time frame. So not clear what's happening there. It's really slow. Hence why I will not trade this pair in the coming weeks or until it changes. Okay. Again, if you guys have any questions, you can comment below in the chat. Let me know your questions. I'll be happy to answer them, and to maybe look at pairs or chart that you want to look at, of course. Okay. Now we are on EuroCAD, also correlated to the other ones before. The difference with this pair is that it broke. This was a resistance area, 1.52. We broke that, went beyond that, came back here to retest, went up, and now basically we wait for either price is going to go up or it's going to go back to retest. So we have two choices. We're kind of like away from the zone now, so this is going to be quite hard to trade. I'm going to remove it from my tagged pair here. So it went off the zone. We had a good zone here, pushed the upside, which was expected. Now we have to wait for the next zone, which we don't really have. Well, we could look at this zone here. So 1.66, 1.65. Those would be the next zone. Okay, or maybe this one here. 1.61. Actually, that's a good one. 1.60. That would be the next zone to look at. Okay. So it's pretty much what we look for here. Euro JP is also hitting a resistance area. So we have a lot of like these resistance areas so far. Okay, we have these AOD CAD, AOD Y, AOD Euro JP. They all hit resistance for now. So the principle here is the same as the other one we talked about. You wait for price to go up there, which we are almost now, and then you wait for price to give you a nice setup on the lower time frame to the downside. Okay, that would be the point. Of course, if you are like a breakout trader, you can trade the breakout there, but then you have to have some rules for your breakouts. So, for example, you would look at price breaking this with having a clear range, which we don't really have over here. That's not a clear range, and you might look at like the RSI too to confirm your breakout, but we don't have that here, so we should consider something else. Okay. Okay. We had no trade here this past week, I think. Let me have a look. No, that's good. Okay. Euro USD is doing some nonsense again. I don't trade this pair anymore because it's not profitable for my strategy. So I dropped it a few weeks back. And basically we broke this level. Okay, it's like a level that we were supposed to respect. Price just went down, didn't respect it. Came back up. Kind of respected it a little bit. And now we broke beyond. So the next level is like this one here. Actually this one here. So 1.20 will be the next level. Awesome. I'll talk about alerts soon. I'll discuss that, how I do alerts and everything. So yes, that will be the next level, 1.20, but I don't really trade that, so I don't really follow it. It's just there to kind of look at an example of something not to trade, basically. GBP CAD, if I'm not mistaken, is also a pair. No, it's actually GBP. Sorry about that. So GBP CAD is okay, hitting the resistance area again, like the other ones before we talked about, doing the same thing. Yeah, this is 1.78. Wait for price to go up, and then we want to have price come back down. Okay, that's what we look at. Now, of course, we're not going to capture all this move because we trade on lower time frame. I trade on lower time frame. So how we do it is simple: is we go on lower time frame, and we look for setup with the Bonjourman. So these bearish setup here, we have a lot of bullish ones, but these won't hold really well because we are in a bearish zone. So we're not going to trade bullish trades, of course. We had one over here, not in the zone, so we won't take that. That's what we look for on this pair. GBP GPY is a pair we don't trade anymore because the results are really bad. Again, the stats are bad. So it's between two zones here. We're not going to trade that for now. It's doing not much. So we would have to wait. If you trade that, you have to wait for price to hit the zone, either at 1.27 or the other higher one is at 1.49, 149 and 153 or something like that. Okay. So, but for now, we don't have much to do. Same thing for this pair here, GP and ZD. It's really messy now. So I used to trade it. It was more clear, the range. Like back when we were here, like the range was clear. We were hitting this resistance here. But now price just like went down, came back up, went down, came back up, went down, came back up, down, up. So not very clear. Yeah, you could argue like, yeah, we're coming back to retest here. This, just draw it quickly. We have this one here at 1.99. Okay. We could say 2. It's fine. No big difference. And around here. So 1.83. 0.84 doesn't matter. So price was in this range, broke the range, came back in the range, so it doesn't really respect the range anymore. So it went back up, did this big wick, came back within the range, so we broke down. So technically what we do is we would expect price to, once it's in the range, come back here and retest, and I mean, fall back in the range. Didn't happen now, so it's not really clear. Again, it's pretty choppy, like messy, doesn't really respect the range anymore. Went back down, and then up. So it's not really respecting the range. So that's why I'm not trading that pair for now. Okay. So that is it for this pair. Next pair is GBP USD, more clear. So There's a bunch of drawing here. It doesn't really matter. Basically, price is respecting here really well the range. So 1.33 is the higher limit, and the lowest one is 1.20. So you want to look for now here bearish trade within this zone. So far we had nothing on this pair, I believe. These setup were too early, and these ones were, yeah, no, perfect. So we have to wait for setup on this pair actually. It's pretty much in the zone now, so that's a good thing. Okay. So Hong Kong 33, we don't really need that. It's just for fun. NZD CAD is a pair that works really well for my strategy, so it's good to have it here. Basically, price was in this. This is like a bigger range, right? From 0.92 to 0.83, and now price is like in between. So it did a bunch of bounces here, bounced there. We had a nice bounce again here in the past. Now price broke. Now we expect price to retest here the zone and to go back up. That would be your first theory. Of course, the other one is like you can wait for price to hit this level here, or we can also trade at this level here. See, we have a few options there. Yeah, they will all be. This one will be a continuation of the trend, so to the upside. This one here, this one on the top will be a reversal trade, and this one at the bottom, same thing, reversal trade. Okay. So for now, we have to wait in this pair a little bit. S&P fine, hitting higher the highest level. That's good. Here USD CAD. I believe we had a trade on this last week. Let me just see. Actually, these ones don't really work well. Okay. Well, these kind of work. We'll cover that later. So price is coming back to hit 1.30, a round number, which is very good. As a support area, we expect for price, of course, to go higher in this direction. So we have to look for bullish trades. We're not there yet, so we have to wait a little bit. And then we can look for bullish trades at this level. Okay. USD we don't need to look at that. That's fine. Here's where we had a setup. USD JPY last week. So we are hitting a support area. 1.05 is the level. So we expect price to go higher. Now, if you look at this level here, when price got to this level, we can look on the lower time frame. We had a trade right here. Okay. On a forward chart. Let me see if we have something here on the 1 hour chart. We had a trade, but let me see. Yeah, we will not enter that because we didn't go beyond, like I said before in the beginning of the video, is we have to close beyond the candlestick. And in that case, this one right there, the bullish one, we had the engulfing candle. But we didn't close after that beyond the candlestick on the next candlestick, so we will not take that trade. So this one here on the forward chart was perfect. So we come in the zone, a little bit below 1.05, so a little bit below here. That's good. Price makes this nice engulfing candle. Let's just zoom in a little bit. Nice engulfing candle. And then we look for entering beyond the high. So we'll put our entry right here above the high. Stop loss below low. Yeah, let me just move that there. Okay. And we're at risk of 1-to-1 and 3-to-1. So 1-to-1 would have been a lot before that, around here. And your 3-to-1 is, we went way past that in this pair, which is good. 3-to-1 will be around here. So we could have gotten a lot more, of course, in this pair, but it's always better to use fixed target, in my opinion, than to kind of try to chase the market. Price went a little bit higher and came back down. So we're quite good in this trade. Didn't miss out on too much. And that was a good trade at the right zone. So it's perfect combination. And you guys have to know if you have any questions on this, either in the chat or the comment after, if you're watching the replay. You can let me know about your questions or your thoughts or whatever. It's fine. I want to hear your thoughts, of course. Okay, last pair we'll look at is USD Singapore dollar. So basically we expect price, now we had this support here, we expected price to go back up. It didn't really work out. So we can delete these arrows right there. And now we wait for price to go lower and possibly do a retest of the zone. Okay, so come back up, do a retest, and then go back down. Okay, so we will look for bearish trades at this zone after it comes back and retest the zone 1.38. So that's a good zone. Someone say in the chat buy gold. Well, as you can see, that's probably like the worst time to buy gold based on the technicals, because it's like at the top of the market. Went like a little bit lower, of course, but we're like pretty much at the top, which is never the right time to buy usually, in my opinion. Of course, if you are a trend trader, you might like that, but ideally when you want to look for better retracement, be able to look for bullish trades. Okay, the next zone that we can trade is here, 1800, and I will like way beyond that. So I don't trade gold. It's not really something that I like to trade, but just saying that with my analysis, you will be looking for bullish trades around this area here. It's the 1800. Otherwise, it's not worth it, because price would have to make like bullish candlestick all the time for you to stay in profit on this trade, which wouldn't make any sense. Okay. Now maybe on a daily, like on an intraday basis, you can trade that. Fine, probably, because it's trending upward. That's good. But on a swing trading basis, that wouldn't work out really well, in my opinion. Okay. So now I'm gonna go in the chat a little bit. I want to see your questions and what you ask. And then give me just a second here to look at the chat. If you have any questions about the pairs or things we look at or whatever, comment in the chat. Let me know. I want to hear your thoughts as always, and we can cover anything you want about mindset, trading, capital, anything you want, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. If SMA here says watching from South Africa, welcome. What's up? Win RX trade. How do you manage your lot size when you swing trade? I've covered that before. Basically, you have to calculate the right lot size for your risk per trade. So I just risk 1% per trade usually. And with that, my algo that I use can calculate the size for the trade. You can, like, if you go on TradingView, you have an option for this when you place a trade. I'm not connected here, but when you place a trade on TradingView, let's see if we can have something similar. No, okay, I'll have to connect. But basically, you can choose to risk 8% on your trade, and it's gonna adjust the lot size for you if you want. So it's quite simple to do. Underrated effect says, how do you manage your emotions while with swing trading? Basically, you just have to walk away from the chart. So I place trades, or the algo that I have placed trades for me. I just walk away and then I'm done. And then come back at the end of the day, look at the trades. But in either way, it's all probabilities, it's all numbers, and the numbers add up at the end of the month, not at the end of the day, at the end of the month. They add up later on. So you cannot just use like a 1 day P&L or a 2 day P&L or even like a 1 week P&L to judge performance. Sometimes you get a tough run, sometimes you get an easy run, and that's why you have to be able to accept that. But look at the numbers and the result at the end of a month or a quarter, and that makes more sense. So if you do that, then there's no emotion that you have to manage much. You could have some things where like, oh, you have a series of bad trades, and then you feel emotions, or let's say you have a tough time, and then you feel like you should not trade, or you should step away, or you don't feel like trading. That's emotion you have to deal with, of course. Some exercise you can do with that to be able to control the emotions, but that's more like meditation and things that we would take a long time to talk about. So I'm gonna cover that over here, but it's just a good idea to kind of meditate a little bit and start to practice how you can move focus on the charts. Okay, my camera ran out of battery. That's good. I mean the light. That's fine. Candlestick JPY is asking, how do you set alerts on TradingView in such a way that you can receive them on your phone? Well, so it's quite simple. You can set alerts here on TradingView, and let me just share that here before I forget. So what you do is simple. Is you go here on the chart, you do add alert, and then you need to connect to the app on your smartphone, the TradingView app. Connect there, and that's gonna select here notify on app. It's gonna send you the notification on the app simply. Okay, so it's quite simple. If you want to have it pop up on the website, you can have it pop up here. You can get an email. I think webhook, that's good. You can do that too. For example, like Zapier or something, you can connect that, or just the app is fine. Okay, I don't really use that myself. I have an algo that sends me alerts when it finds like trades to enter. It's on Telegram, but I don't have it installed here on my computer, so I cannot show you. and I just threw my phone away recently. So no, but basically I get alerts on Telegram when my stuff is in the market. The algo that I have running all the time sends me an alert to Telegram with the trade, and it's gonna also put the position for that trade. If I want to close position, I can just cancel it or something, but it's gonna put the position in the market plus the alert, so I can look at both. That's just more specific to my setup, of course. Cool. So Krishna says, which session do you trade? Do you trade often in Forex? I trade all of them because I swing trade. So it doesn't matter what time of the day it is. My algo takes trade 24/5. So all time of the day, all days of the week, except now we cut the Mondays. So Mondays we don't trade at all. But the other days of the week, the algo will take trades. I will take trades too if I need to. And so that means that I always trade pretty much, no matter what time of the day it is. And most trades they appear in the European session or in the New York session, less in the Asian session. So, but that's just because of the style, and we look for like quite big move and reversals, which tend to happen more in the London or New York session in the market. Okay. Awesome, guys. So, quick request here if you guys like this video so far. I do a lot of things on Instagram recently. I kind of share some thoughts there, some lessons sometimes in post. So, if you want to follow me there, I would recommend you do it. Just search for my handle. I'll type it here in the chat. It's at Etienne Crete, like this. Instagram. You can just follow me there. I would appreciate that, and say hi if you do so. I'll be happy to connect with you, chat a little bit, exchange, and if you have any question, I'm here to help. Of course, I'm here to have value, and I want you guys to be able to get results. So that's all that counts for me. For you to be able to get result and be able to move forward, and whatever goal you have, get financing for your trading, so get capital or be profitable by the end of the year. We want to have people that are profitable by the end of the year. We want to help as many people as we can, of course. Or that could be just to be able to start a fund or something, or scale up your trading. Now, maybe now you trade profitably with smaller. You want to be able to get bigger. We can help you with that for sure. So connect with me. I'll be happy to help. And here I have a question from Koba. Koba is asking, do you ever hedge position at news releases or when the price goes against you? No, I don't do that. Some people do that. I don't really am comfortable with that. I would not do that myself. But it's a way to do it if you want. It's just more complicated. So I have my targets, I have my positions, and they, because they're on higher time frame, they respect the target anyway. So I've never had any issue with that, so it's all fine. Awesome, guys. I appreciate your time for being here, and I hope you got some value. Give it a like the video if you liked it today. I would appreciate that. And check out Instagram, connect with me there. I'll be happy to reply to you and help you out and add value. And we'll be doing a training also this coming week. Check out Night for that pretty soon. It's going to be posted on Instagram soon. You'll get the link there to be able to sign up for that training. It's going to be private training on being able to get capital for your trading pretty soon. So check out that. It's going to be pretty soon. No link for now because we have to create a page soon. But that's going to be done by probably tomorrow. And I'll send you that on Instagram. And you probably see it on YouTube as well. But just make sure, follow me on Instagram. And I'll catch you guys pretty soon. Ciao.